how we have structured the session, we will dedicate around 30 minutes to explain a bit what is the INNOSOP called topic, where this AMULET project is addressing the ambitions from the Commission. We will go into the AMULET concept itself. We're going to explain what could be the contributions from all of you as experts in the project. After going through the different
sorry, I have troubles hearing you.
Me too. There is a sound like beep, beep, beep.
Let me stop my video. Probably that could solve the issue. Do you hear me now?
Ricardo, in general, I can hear you well, but I would ask
yes, no, it's okay.
all of the participants to mute yourself, so there will be no echoes.
Okay, yes, please. Please, if everybody can just mute themselves, and of course, when we go into the Q&A session, just mute yourself, but just to avoid any kind of echo. I hope everybody can hear me well. I will try to put my video again. Hopefully, the audio will be good. If not, let me know. As I was saying before, after presenting the INNOSOP call, the AMULET concept, and going into different aspects which we believe are very relevant to your potential contributions, we will go into the timeline of the project. Feel free to please put any of your questions in the chat. We will monitor them, and when we go into the Q&A section, we will go through all these questions, and of course, any spontaneous addition will be very welcome. So moving on into the next slide, before we go into the AMULET concept itself, just a few words about what is the INNOSOP call topic from H2020. This call is actually addressing the cluster facilitated projects. For the idea is to create new industrial value chains, and they want to do that through the active collaboration of SMEs with an important role of the clusters. This call topic, what it looks for is that they want to support the innovation activities, especially from SMEs, and in order to do so, they want to do it by directly support from the clusters. There is one important particularity about the INNOSOP call topic, and that is because that 75% at least of the total budget should be allocated to support innovation in SMEs. And this is done in two distinguished ways. One is the financial support in the form of grants, that is cash, that is given to the SMEs to support their innovation. And then there is the non-financial support. This means that it's in the form of services, time and effort that the AMULET partners invest in supporting the SMEs. And as you can see here also in this slide, the role of experts go in the two ways of the support from the INNOSOP 01 call topic. Now, if we move into the AMULET project itself, to the next slide, please. The objectives of the project is that we want to ultimately contribute to CO2 emissions reduction in the European Union. And we want to do that by an active role of the SMEs. To go into and to target the ambitions of the INNOSOP 01 call topic, we want to create new lightweight value chains, not only to those sectors which are traditionally benefiting from lightweight, but also to those where we don't see lightweight that often. That's why we want to foster the use and penetration of three types of materials: fiber-reinforced polymers, ceramic matrix composites, and light metal alloys in four targeted sectors. As we said, the traditional aerospace, aeronautics, and automotive, but also those that are not traditional benefiting from lightweight, which is building and energy. We believe that in this manner, we will create new value chains. Into the concept itself, in a nutshell, we can say in the next slide, you will see how we have three main pillars of the project, three main activities. The first one is the R&D demonstration project. We want to create different solutions coming from real needs from industry, and we want to support them through different thematic challenge competitions. The second activity is actually the technical training support, and that is to give dedicated support to those R&D demonstration projects coming from the thematic challenge competitions. But besides that, we want to also give support to all types of SMEs who are interested in lightweight, and we're going to do that through educational material. And then we have the third activity, which is very similar to the second one, but in this case, focusing on the business-to-business coaching. And in this case as well, we want to give a strategic coaching to those R&D projects coming from the first activity, but we don't want to stay into that. We also want to give more support in this form of continuous support to all types of SMEs who are interested in exploiting lightweight materials in the market through different educational materials. If we move to the next slide, please. how we have structured the different AMULET concepts and the three type of activities. We want to do it through 6 different cross-cutting lightweight topics. These 6 lightweight topics, in fact, cover the entire value chain of lightweight, from material supply and development to circular economy. And we want to create, to support the 3 types of activities of the project, a panel of experts. And this panel of experts is when you have a relevant role of the ones that are here in the call. And we want to create this panel of experts from academia and industry who have a very experienced and a high knowledge on lightweight topics, including all these 6 cross-cutting topics. If we move to the next slide, please. Now it's standard we move into the partnership of AMULET, how we want to support all the different activities of the project. And this is to the participation of 13 different partners from 10 different countries in the European Union. We also have, as you see here in red, the participation of some associated partners who will also contribute in the project through their networks and through their expertise. And as you can see here, the partnership of AMULET is formed by 2 types of partners. On the one hand, we have clusters associations, which represent the industry in the regions and who will be the link to the SMEs. And then we also have the experts on lightweight. These are research centers and universities who will bring the technical and scientific knowledge to the project. And this project is coordinated by the University of Chemnitz in Germany. If we move to the next slide. Before we move into the next phase of this presentation, we want to highlight what do we expect about the cooperation between the SME and those large companies, how we want to create value. First of all, we want to, as you can see in the bottom of the slide, we want to establish a good relationship between the SMEs, the SME consortia who are participating in the thematic competitions, and the challenge givers. How do we see the challenge givers? From our perspective, challenge givers are typically end users, tier 1 suppliers from the different sectors. But we don't want to put many restrictions. In fact, we just want to establish a good relationship between the challenge giver and those who can provide solutions, which in this case are the SMEs. Once the SMEs solve real industrial challenge coming from these end user suppliers, we want to not only sticking to that, but we also would like to establish sustainable business cooperation beyond the project completion. That's a bit the ambitious coming from the AMULET project. And now I will give the floor to Aneta from Fronting Box, who will move into a bit more of information into the SME cooperation and collaboration.
Thank you, Ricardo. Good morning, everyone. Just a few words about myself. I'm working in Funding Box, and when you will be the experts and later maybe the evaluators, all of the administrative things are on us, so then you will contact mainly me. But now about the support to SMEs in the AMULET. So first of all, what is important, we will support the consortia. So between 2 and 3 SMEs, and only SMEs in the consortia are possible. And there will be a lot of support, but mainly, of course, the funding. So the funding will be as a funnel. So firstly, we will support into open calls up to 50, and in one open call around 25 in the first stage, which is feasibility study. So we will pay 23 as a lump sum. It's very important that we pay the lump sum here. So the second stage is prototyping or demo. So here we pay 80,000 euros, and here only to those who were chosen after the first stage. So only 6 to 7 in the first open call. In total, 13 consortia will be paid this money in the stage 2, and the stage 3 follow-up support for innovation here 17. So in total, FSTP payment is 120,000 for the consortia. Okay, can you move to the next slide? Okay, and a little bit about the SME journey, how it works when they see that there is something like AMULET to the end. So first of all, The 15th of February, we will launch the open call, and here the SMEs, the consortia, will register on our platform, and then they will have to fill in the application form. In the meantime, we will prepare 3 matchmaking events during which the SMEs can see each other, can create consortia. They can, of course, ask questions to us, so they will know more about the program. And the end of this open call will be 27th of the April. And what will happen here? Here, we will need the help of the some of you. So here from the panel of experts, we will choose the independent evaluators who will evaluate those proposals. So each application will be evaluated by 3 independent evaluators, so that after that we can create the list of the pre-funding experiments. Then there will be the next stage, which is the jury day. During the jury day, it will be a possibility to ask more questions to the consortia to see if they are ready to join the program. The next stage, as I told before, this is feasibility study. In the first open call, it will be around 25. In the 2 open calls, up to 50 solutions. They need to write the 10 pages of the feasibility study, and they will write it with their mentors, but of course, sometimes your maybe not support, but your idea or your help, like not the work with the team, but maybe they will have some questions and you can answer this. So here, this kind of support can be needed from you. And the next stage is demonstration. So here, in total, up to 13 projects are selected, and then follow-up support. Those who are in the demonstration, the follow-up, and at the end of the AMULET program, the final event, so SMEs can present solutions, and we can see their road to the end. At the same time, apart from this road, there will be educational support and educational courses. So also here, some of your support will be needed, and they will some SMEs will have individual coaching. So also here, some of your support will be valuable. It's very important that this is only for SME, so then you will work only with SME, and this work. Okay, I see some question. Why 13 projects for? Okay, yeah. The thing is that we needed to make the amendment because of the COVID situation, and we cannot make the jury day offline. So we need to make jury day online, and due to this situation, we have some money to fund 1 more project. So it's good for projects that we can fund 1 more, but due to COVID, we cannot meet in person. It will be very difficult to set people in one place now. So that is why we have 1 more project to fund, which is good, of course. I don't know, Ricardo, if I should answer some question now or should we wait for the end?
I think what we can do is, I propose that we proceed with the presentation.
Okay.
We will in any way start checking the questions at all times. So I want to encourage all the participants that if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put it in the chat, and we'll make a list and address them in the Q&A section.
Yes, okay, so that's all from my side, and then in the Q&A session, I will answer your question. Thank you.
Okay, so Now I will continue with the presentation. So my name is Jakub Koenig. I come from Jožef Stefan Institute, Slovenia. And I will now try to present you in more details what is the role of external experts. So external experts are collaborating in AMULET as challenge givers, as members of external advisory board, and as members of thematic working groups of experts. External experts can decide based on their motivation and availability to be part of any of these three groups or as a member of several of these groups. So you can also take part in all of the groups. The simplest role is providing the challenges, and if these challenges are solved, then AMULET will connect the SME consortia with the challenge giver in order to start the exploitation of the solution. The most valuable and desired is that the challenge giver is also a member of the thematic working group and gives further support to the development of the solution. Next slide, please. Yes, thank you. So who can be an external expert? It's any expert with expertise in one of the 12 AMULET teams. Experts can come from academia or industry, and here if an SME is providing an expert, then this SME cannot take part in the thematic competitions. In general, the experts are not linked to AMULET partners, but if they are, then they will not take part in external evaluations. Next slide, please. So why do we need external experts? So to cover the broad scientific and technological fields of the 12 topics, and at the same time have the expertise in specific narrow fields of the challenges. So external experts are needed also for an independent external evaluation, and moreover, all external experts will be available to the SMEs for the stage three support, which is follow-up support for innovation. And the SME consortia will have the possibility to pick external experts from this list. Next slide, please. So in ideal case, as I already said, challenge giver is also external expert in respective thematic working group, thus having the highest motivation to monitor, support and co-develop the solution to the provided challenge. Among other benefits are networking, so with potential new partners in business or for preparation of new proposals, and review of the cutting edge technology developments. And formally, we will also award all the experts with an AMULET certificate. Next slide, please. So 12 thematic working groups of experts will be formed for the 12 teams, each consisting of 2 external experts from academia, 2 external experts from industry, and 2 AMULET partners. So leading partners and supporting partner. So AMULET tandem of partners will prepare materials, organize and manage the communication between SME consortia and external experts. While external experts will have the advisory role, providing opinions, suggestions, and information to support the development of solutions. Next slide. So within the thematic working groups, the external experts with the advisory role will have the main activities to provide challenges. So we already asked you for these challenges and got some challenges, but here I would encourage you all again to supply further challenges if you have some. There's still a bit of a time to do that. And then the second role is to aid the definition of challenges, also setting the goals and tasks to overcome by the SME consortia during the development. and diagnosis and selection of the best projects, incubation and co-development of solutions, and final assessment. And the next slide. So here are the tasks again described in more details. So the role of external experts is advisory. So we don't want to take too much of your time, but I would just invite you to take part also in this educational curriculum. This is the pre-last two bullets. If you have some educational materials prepared and if you are willing to share it with the SMEs, maybe this is more relevant for experts from academia, but we will all invite you to join these tasks when we will be ready, so you can share these materials with all the SMEs which will collaborate in the AMULET project. And now Finn from Baxim Company will continue with the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Jakob. I noticed that my audio might lag a little behind, so in case you have troubles understanding me, please let me know. In that case, I would turn my camera off. But yeah, as you already outlined, there are different roles that you as an expert can be part of in the AMULET project. And here I will quickly describe the External Advisory Board, or EAB. The EAB consists of experts of advanced materials, manufacturing, technologies, value chains, and from academic entities and from representatives of the European Commission. The role of EAB members consists of basically three different responsibilities. First, in the best case, as already mentioned, you're a challenge giver as well to submit the challenges to the AMULET thematic competitions. Second, EAB members will share their opinion on the replicability of the results coming from AMULET funded projects. And third, since the EAB is playing an important part in AMULET's strategy, EAB members will advise the consortium a bit on the project's strategic goals and progress. But why would you want to become part of the EAB? Jakob already described this quite a bit, but please let me cover this as well. As mentioned, we will organize 3 project events throughout the project in which you have the chance to meet SMEs from all over Europe and possibly meet future partners for your activities, as well as get firsthand insights into the latest developments in cutting edge technologies. As what we foresee, and now those meetings will be virtual, but if the situation allows it, we would be moving those meetings to a physical format for which the consortium has some budget to cover your travel costs as well. In addition, and here we are back at the first part of the EAB members' role, if you're a part of the EAB and take part in AMULET as a challenge giver, you will be able to be part of the monitoring process of your solution that is being developed by the SMEs. And those SMEs are, of course, since you're in this advisory role as well, those you find the most promising for your solution. Then coming to intellectual property. So if you're a challenge giver as well, and you want to make sure that sensitive information will be treated confidentially, you can sign a bilateral non-disclosure agreement. This NDA will be signed by the TWGE, or the Thematic Working Group of Experts, but there's only one NDA required per working group. This NDA will have to be signed before your working group receives the challenges for evaluation to avoid any complications during the evaluation process. In general, confidential information will not be disclosed throughout the project. This will be ensured by various agreements and commitments that have already been closed in the consortium's grant agreement. If it happens that external advisors will be supporting the SME consortium working on your challenge, they have to sign a non-disclosure commitment in order to start working on your challenge. If you feel that existing NDAs don't protect your confidential information well enough, you can sign further NDAs with experts or SMEs. And a very important point here, which I need to mention, is the question of who actually owns the intellectual property which is created within the project. Generally, it falls whoever creates intellectual property becomes the owner of it. In the case of the AMULET project, this will almost exclusively be the SMEs consortia working on the solution. But should your contribution as an expert be considered intellectual property, you will have to set up bilateral agreements to define how the SME consortia and you will split the rights on the said IP. So now I come to the payments that you might receive as an expert in certain roles. So there are different types of payments that go to the experts of the EAB or TWGE of the AMULET project. Firstly, there will be a payment to all experts that are selected by the AMULET partner funding box to evaluate the solution proposals provided by the SMEs. This payment will be made after the evaluation of proposals have been finalized and we received your feedback. But we cannot say yet to what amount will be transferred to those experts, since we do not know yet how many experts will be needed for the evaluation process. Our current assumption includes 4 experts per sector material combination, of which there are 12. Hence, for this step, we would need 48 experts. The budget available for this exercise is around 50,000 euros. So if we do some basic math here, this would come to a payment of roughly 1,000 euros per person, but this is still tentative and not finalized yet. Secondly, there is the stage 3 support for innovation that will be provided to SMEs. For this support, as Annette already mentioned, the SME consortia will receive 17,000 euros to get support from, amongst others, experts like you to take their solution to market stage. The experts will be chosen by the SMEs themselves. So the AMULET consortium has only partial influence on that decision. The question is, why do I say partially? Because there will be a list of experts which will be made available to the SME consortia, for which they could choose the expert whose services they want to take advantage of for this support for innovation. So this would definitely include you as well, but in the end, it is not up to us, but it's up to the SME consortia who they choose in the end. The payments, by the way, will be made after the predicted milestones will be reached. So, and lastly, please let me give you a quick overview about the upcoming steps. So first, we will be reviewing your application and forming the working group of experts according to your expertise. There are still, like in case there are still any documents for your application missing. So we asked you for a CV and the motivational statement and a PowerPoint template already in December. But in case there's still something missing, please do send it to your point of contact as soon as possible, since we need these documents to consider you bringing on board of the AMULET project. So, and then we will inform you ASAP whether your application has been successful and to which working group you have been assigned, ideally until January 25th. So then after we finalize the working groups, we will announce the first open call on the 15th of February and open the application portal for the SMEs. This action is followed by the first matchmaking event between you as a challenge giver and the SMEs. So there are also 2 more matchmaking events in this period. So like here in this slide, you see like between February and April. So we plan to do the 3 matchmaking events such that you can present your challenges and meet the solutions providers. So, but this will of course also be in a digital format. Those dates are still to be announced. Hence, there will be 1 matchmaking event per month until the closure of the closing of the first open call on April 27th. From that point on, those of you that have been chosen as external experts for evaluation will be evaluating the proposals. And ideally, again, if you're a challenge giver, you will be evaluating the proposals to your own challenge. So this is the broad timeline that we will be following, and that we are looking forward to going these steps together with you. So for now, thanks for your attention and for your time. And now we still have some time to answer all your questions.
Thank you, Finn, and thank you to the rest of AMULET presenters. I will just kindly ask Camilo if we can stop recording the session so we can move into the Q&A section.